I Am Politics girl. Yes, Lee, the liberal star who is a fan favorite on this show, certainly of mine, hopefully of yours, doesn't just take her talents to TikTok and Twitter and the new excellent book that she just wrote, but is also becoming a recurring guest on CNN, a network that sorely needs a presence of truth-telling like hers, especially on the late-night program that she continues to appear on in just the best way. And we saw another recent example of that when I Am Politics girl went on to shut down some MAGA lies. And of course, those MAGA lies on CNN usually coming from someone who is not a fan favorite on this show, and that is Scott Jennings. Certainly someone we could use a lot less of, but someone we could use a lot more of is Lee, is I Am Politics girl. And I am so excited to show y'all a series of incredible clips from her on CNN. We don't usually get a lot of incredible CNN clips, so I'm excited to play these. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button. It goes a long way in supporting us and really means the world to me. Now let's get into this incredible first clip of Lee talking about our incredible VP.
But she never apologized to the agents that she vilified, who were dragged through the mud for doing their job, riding on horseback with what are called split reins.
Well,
it's a Western style of riding, and
that
wasn't whipping immigrants at the southern border. It was the photo.
Hiring more
How do you get
people
there?
at the border has always been part of the plan. It was part of the plan
It
in
wasn't
January.
what she was calling them.
But it was part of the plan in
akin to
January.
slavery.
She has evolved her position, and I think that's what we want politicians to do, right? That we want to listen. We want them to listen to the people, and the people are saying we are very upset and we are very nervous about the border. And she said, I'm hearing you. I'm going to make it more. I'm going to do this. I'm going to change this. We're going to do this because I'm listening to the people. Is that not what we want our politicians to do?
Like Lee pointed out, it is so strange for MAGA Republicans to continue to attack the positions of Vice President Kamala Harris, which are always and increasingly bipartisan. During her time as vice president, she has seen what has worked and what hasn't, and hasn't decided that she wants to dig herself into a position and never change. No, she wants to work to find solutions that are best for us. And that is why she worked so hard to help secure the bipartisan border deal that ultimately was torpedoed by Donald Trump. That is the difference. Donald Trump doesn't see what works. He sees what's going to benefit him politically, and that's what he wants to do. And so it's so strange and really telling of MAGA Republicans that they want to attack the bipartisan positions that Kamala Harris has taken, but celebrate Donald Trump for just doing what is best for him. And more on that bipartisan border deal was discussed by Lee in this clip right here.
Some people may criticize some of Donald Trump's policies on this particular issue, but if the administration would have left some of those policies in play, this probably wouldn't be that big of an issue.
So it wouldn't be that big of an issue, honestly, if we had passed a border bill back in 2013 when the Gang of Eight had their border bill.
Which is what Vice President Harris said
Right.
today.
I mean, literally, it wouldn't be a big deal if we had passed the border bill back in 2013, but the Boehner House decided not to take it up. It wouldn't be a big deal if we passed the border bill in January, but the House refused to take it up. So we're in this position right now because we refuse to keep taking up the position. The issue is better off being unsolved for the Republicans, and you can't win for winning, right? She's not at the border, she goes to the border. This is bad, this is bad. She can't do anything right. And really, of course it's about campaigning, right? She's campaigning for election, so she's gonna go do the things. We kiss babies, we do the things, we go to the border, right? We go to the border.
We talk so much in this race, not only about records and resumes, but why you're running. Kamala Harris has been a career public servant who has dedicated herself to her community, whether that is at the local level, the state level, now the national level. But Donald Trump, he's always dedicated himself to himself. And why is he running for president? Well, let's not even call it that. He's not running for anything. He's running from prison. He's running from accountability. He's running to enrich himself. He's running to support Putin. He's running to help his other rich friends in giant corporations. That's the difference. And so when we talk about Donald Trump killing the bipartisan border deal, it is such a perfect example of how no matter what, he wants to be involved in our lives, even when he's out of our government, to benefit himself politically, because it's the only thing he cares about. And his MAGA Republicans will continue to fall in line as long as he is running their party. So if we want actual bipartisan legislation, it means getting rid of Donald Trump and making sure that we can have a two-party system that actually works. Or we can just move on from MAGA and the GOP entirely and start actually getting stuff done. And speaking of moving on from people, someone who I'd certainly like to move on from is J.D. Vance, and having to hear his voice. Unfortunately, we will have to hear a lot of that today, but it will also be backed up by Tim Walz calling him out, so that's a benefit. But I Am Politics Girl called out J.D. Vance in such a great way that I think we got to check out.
We vet people that you put your candidate next to. You do a full background.
Evidently you don't.
Apparently we don't anymore. Apparently
Maybe he was vetted. Because where are we right now, right? We are taking rights from women. We are talking about making child brides again. We are talking about getting rid of no-fault divorce. We are taking all these things from women. And what is the next evolution of that? Women are witches. There's no way she could have done that debate without using witchcraft. Oh, now, like, where are we? She had an earpiece. She had, like, that a woman can't just be competent and up on her game. She has to be using some sort of voodoo on you, you know? That is terrifying.
I've heard it from Republicans
but
myself.
It feels like part of what J.D. Vance is saying. He's talking about how cat ladies don't have any worth, how the grandmother should probably take care of their grandchildren. We are demeaning women every day in this country, and I hope women of America are seeing this. They're saying they really don't respect you. They really don't believe in you. You're a woman at this table. You're a woman at this table. The fact that he's going to do a debate, a vice presidential candidate for the Republican Party is going to go in an event with a man who's talking about Kamala Harris being a witch at this point, feels like we're right off the edge, except it also feels right in line with where we are.
The only good thing about J.D. Vance, and give me a second, let me explain, because it's going to seem like I'm grasping at straws here, is that he is the perfect representation of MAGA. He is someone who is hypocritical. He is someone who is disingenuous. He is someone who does not believe the things that he is saying, who is constantly going back on his word in an effort to attack our fundamental freedoms. He represents MAGA so perfectly, and his disgusting and disgraceful lies that just fall flat about Kamala Harris are such a perfect example of how the GOP really has no message in this race. All they can do is lie. All they can do is attack, because what do they really want to do? Not solve problems. They want to complain and distract from the fact that they don't get anything done. This MAGA majority in the House is the least productive Congress in modern history, because they don't have an agenda but to obstruct. It's what their whole movement is about. It's not about making anything. It's about preventing things from getting done. And in doing so, lying. And if we're speaking of lies here, yesterday we saw Donald Trump's disgusting stunt in Georgia trying to pretend that he cared about communities affected by the storm. But of course he didn't. And he did a lot of lying about President Biden. And I want to play a clip that I don't think enough people saw of President Biden calling him out for those lies.
Trump has accused both of you of ignoring the disaster.
He is lying. Let me get this straight. He's lying. And the governor told him he was lying. The governor told me he was lying. I've spoken to the governor, spending time with him, and he told me he's lying. I don't know why he does this. And the reason I get so angry about it, I don't care about what he says about me, but I care what he communicates to the people that are in need. He implies that we're not doing everything possible. We are. We are.
I think we can safely say that President Biden is the world's leading expert on Donald Trump's lies. And so for him to call them out in such a perfect way was so incredible to see, because he knows what Donald Trump is trying to do. He saw it in 2020. He's seen it for the past 4 years. He is trying to use any lie, any conspiracy, any false statement to benefit him politically. It's the only thing he cares about and the only thing he ever will. What is serving him in that exact moment? That's why I was so glad to see President Biden call it out, because it is just such nonsense. Nonsense that we will see probably come out of J.D. Vance's mouth tonight when he goes up against Tim Walz, which I'm sure is not going to be a fun matchup for J.D. Vance. And he is definitely going to spout a lot of lies. But one that I expect him to say is coming out of Laura Ingram's mouth. This clip is just so ridiculous, but we have to take a look. Let's check it out.
But Monica, isn't it because Vance actually takes the media to task when they say something really stupid, like shouldn't corporations pay their fair share? Like one of the dumb, typical cliches of modern debate?
Yeah.
These are the type of arguments that we're going to see from J.D. Vance tonight. That corporations paying their fair share is dumb. I am so excited. I initially started out not wanting to hear J.D. Vance's voice. I am so excited to see him get absolutely destroyed. Just the floor mopped with him by Tim Walz tonight. It is going to be such an incredible sight to see, and we're going to be covering it right here. But if we are going to be talking about our favorite liberals, like I Am Politics Girl, and we're going to be talking about Fox as well, we have to talk about Jessica Cocchiarella. And if we're calling out lies, she's the best at it. Let's take a look at this clip right here.
He has moved over to demonizing immigrants, even legal ones like the Haitians, or taking the numbers that we were talking about on Friday, the number of, quote unquote, convicted murderers, rapists, et cetera, and saying this is all Biden and Harris's fault. And To the extent, I mean, to speak to its inaccuracy, the Department of Homeland Security had to release a statement saying that the ICE figures were being completely misinterpreted, saying the data includes individuals who entered the country over the past 40 years and also includes people that are in jail, not people who are out there roaming the streets. And
of course, well, Donald Trump loves now, I guess, to lie about the communities affected by this storm, lying that President Biden has not been supporting them. Again, just such a disgusting false claim. He also is going back to his classics and lying about immigration, the only thing he can talk about because he loves to complain. But so great of Jessica Tarlov to set the record straight on those numbers that MAGA and really Trump, even though Trump's not really great with numbers, has been trying to deceive us with. And we need more of Jessica calling that out. And we're going to be calling that out every single day. And so if you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button and leave a like on this video. And if you stuck around at the end, drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I'll see you soon.